Greetings. Happy to see you all today. I'm here interviewing Claudette Forbin from Ascending Financial Strategies Group. She went from working at Whole Foods to working in whole finance. Welcome, Claudette.
Thank you so much, Samla. I love that. Whole Foods to whole finance. The great thing about Whole Foods was it was all about helping you eat better, learn more about food. And from that, you had a healthier lifestyle. And I love that whole finance because what we are all about here, Ascending Financial is the name of my company, but I'm part of World Financial Group, which is a division of Transamerica, is helping people understand how money works so that they can make those great decisions and be healthier financially as opposed to being healthier physically. So I love what you just said.
Excellent, excellent. So who do you help?
I of course can help everybody because everybody needs to know how their money works. But I particularly work with two groups. One is women, especially women who are retiring solo. Most of us, when we think about retirement, we're thinking about our spouses or our children. But when you have neither, to have that safe and secure retirement that you want, you have to plan. And those plans have to be very comprehensive. So I sit down with the women, such as that, men as well, but women in particular, and help them craft out that whole picture, help them really see what is it they need to have that safe and secure retirement. Because it's not just the money, that's 50%. It's also your tribe.
Oh, your tribe, the people around you, the people you participate with. Excellent.
Exactly.
And what kind of information do you share with these women?
Well, first and foremost, it starts with this understanding, first laying that foundation of understanding how money works. You'd be surprisingly, all right. So let me tell you something. When I went from that Whole Foods to the whole finance, I'm previously I was in real estate. I'm a recovering attorney, and I'm very well read, highly educated, massively curious, but yet when I first started, I had an issue. I was the primary caregiver for my mom. And anybody who has found themselves in that position, not only the toll that's on you, maybe physically and, with your job, it's the financial toll because it's your mom. You want them to be okay. It's your parent. You want them to be okay. So I have been tapping into my resources. But additionally, since I'm not married and I don't have kids, I began to think, so if something happened to me, who would take care of me? Who's that? And so I had this issue. So I go to a friend, one of those friends that you always kind of chat with. And I was sharing this with him and he introduced me to a friend of his. And I'm sitting down listening to Sunny and she's sharing things with me that I knew nothing about. And I'm like, I am very well educated. I am intensely curious. I have no idea what you're talking about. And why don't I know what you're talking about? So first and foremost, I start with let's either review or add to your knowledge of how money really works. Because most of us don't recognize that money is a tool. We think of it as money is like, okay, I got money, go buy something. Money, shoes. Money, candy. Money, like this. Rather than, here's this thing, here's this commodity, here's this thing. Let me go, how can I use it to my best advantage? So that's how I start with. Then after we've gotten that understanding and they're like, okay, I get it now. Maybe if that was the first time they've heard that, or like, yeah, I need to remember that. Now let's talk about your goals. Well, like, what does retirement mean for you? So I always love asking this question, Samla. So how long do you think you're going to be in retirement? It usually takes people a few minutes for them to realize, I said, how long do you think you're going to be alive? And they generally like, did you just ask? I said, yeah, I did. How long do you think you're going to be in retirement? And they'll go like 5, 10 years. I'm like, so why are you dying at 70? Like, what do you know? And they're like, that's the first thing. It's like, so recognize. So then I'll go, so how old was your mother or your grandmother when they passed away? Are they still with you? And they're like, oh, my grandmother, and there's a lot of pride. My grandmother was 99. I said, and my mom, she's still going and she's 92. I said, well, you should anticipate that you're going to live that long as well. So that means if you're going into the retirement at in your 60s, 65, you potentially have 30 years that you have to be able to support and keep yourself. So that's the first thing. What's your goal? So what's retirement to you? Then the next question, how long you been in retirement first? And then the second question is, what does it mean to you to be retired? Because for some people, retirement just means I'm going to stay home and garden. Others are like, I've got this bucket list. I got Machu Picchu. I got the Great Wall. I've got whatever remaining 8, wonders of the world. That's me. Okay. Others are like, I want to volunteer. I like volunteering. And so, okay. So now you know what your goals are. Now you understand how long. Now let's set some priorities. Your priorities is, what does it mean? When you think, what does safety mean for you? Does that mean not running out of money? Because really, that's the number one. Do you know it is the number one fear everybody has, is running out of money in retirement? And you know what that comes from? Because they're not sure they plan properly.
Yes. Yes.
You could put me in a room with any type of food. I will not worry that I will starve because I know how to cook. It doesn't matter what I got, I can make it edible. But you put someone in the room who doesn't know how to cook and go there, they're like this, what am I gonna do?
Right, right.
And it's the same thing with their worry comes from, they're not sure they made the right decisions.
Right.
So we work with them so that they know, I've made the right decisions and I'm good. So everybody, that's the number one fear people go into retirement. And the second one is, for most people, they're really not ready to go to pasture, so to speak. They're maybe leaving that career, but there's a desire to do something else.
Right. True.
And they don't really know what that is.
Right.
And retirement is kind of like college. You go into college to explore, what's out there. Retirement, but then you don't have a lot of demands on you. You don't have a lot of demands on your time. All you do is that ability to explore what the world is offering. Retirement, you don't have a whole lot of demands on you. The kids are grown, supposedly all that stuff done. It's like, as long as you have the money, you're good to go. You're like, I can explore all those things I've never done before. So I want to find out what your goals, your priorities are. Make sure that you understand how money works. Make sure that that fear that we all have is not there, because you've made the best decisions. That's what I do.
That's outstanding. So you're the person you're the go-to person for women that are currently retired, planning to retire, specifically women planning to retire, because you're one of the people that helps them decide what they need to do, what they need to have in place, and how they can create the wealth that they want in their retirement.
Exactly.
Excellent.
But also with women, but also with women who are retired, because they also have already gone into that, okay, and they're worried. So what I would do is just sit down with you and say, okay, let's go over what you have. Let's look at what you got and see, because a lot of times you never had anybody to really ask these questions to say, no, you're fine. You did a really great job. Okay, I can breathe. Or you know what? There's a couple of areas that you might need to tweak. And here are the options you have to make those tweaks. But if you make those tweaks, if this works for you, you're good. So I'm there for whether you're already retired, you're planning a retirement, you're within a couple of years, which is a little late to think about it, but it's okay. There still works because I'm in that boat. But mostly for younger people, for younger women who right now are saying, I ain't getting married, I ain't having kids. Okay, you probably will change your mind. But in the event that you don't, let's start putting things in place.
Excellent. That's absolutely excellent. And how can people get in touch with you?
So the best way to get in contact with me is you can find me on LinkedIn. I am the only Claudette Forbin on all of LinkedIn. I am really easy to find.
Spell that.
And also,
Spell that for them. Spell that for them.
So my name is spelled C as in Charles, L-A, U as in umbrella, D as in dog, E, T as in Thomas, H as in Harry, and then Forbin, F as in Frank, ORB as in boy, IN as in Nancy. And also, Samla, I do have a link to if you just kind of want to chat. I'm always, as an attorney, if you wanted to talk to me, I had to charge you. I love about being as a whole financial person is that I get to talk to you and hear you and listening to you, and I don't get to charge you. And I love that because I really get to serve the person. I absolutely believe that God placed us on this earth to help all of his children in this kingdom. And this is the group that I am choosing to help. Those who want to be financially fit. Because I got to tell you, when your finances are in order, your life, your business, they are in order. That takes away almost 80% of the arguments, the frustration, the anxiety that you have when you know that doesn't matter what happens tomorrow, I can still sustain myself, take care of myself, take care of my family. Know how money works, that will be where you are.
Excellent, excellent. So how's that we can contact you? You said we can have coffee for free?
We can have coffee for free. I have a link to get on my calendar. And if you just say, oh, I heard you on Samala's podcast, I'm like, yay, like I would love to chat with you. So I think Samala, you can share that link with, but if not, you can always reach out to me on Facebook and I'll share that link with you and we can sit down and chat. I love talking to people.
Excellent, excellent. And before we go, do you have any words of wisdom for everyone?
Samly, one of the things you mentioned to me is, working women who made a pivot when they were in their 50s. I actually transitioned into this career when I was 58. And there was a lot of, fear. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? You're supposed to be coming to the end of your career, not starting a new one. Ladies, I will tell you this, pivot because you're not starting from scratch. You've got so much to offer. You have wisdom, you have perseverance, you have everything that you need because you've gotten from day one to where you are today. So when there's something that you can feel passionate about, something that you can bring value to it, go for it. Whatever it is, go for it.
Thank you. Thank you. I totally appreciate that. It's been my pleasure to interview you today. Claudette Forbin, Ascending Financial Strategies Group. Check her out on LinkedIn. Thank you.